G'day guys, and welcome back to Karate Over Coffee. I'm Shane McMahon, your host. I've got Tsuenari for part three, so our last chat with Tsuenari after the Olympics. We talk a little bit about, we talk a lot about the rules that we would change for the WKF, some of the differences with the combat sports, and talk about his sponsorship or lack of sponsorship, and what it takes to become an Olympian. So sit down, enjoy. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I'll speak to you soon. But anyway, look, you can't change it now.
Yeah,
But
but I think
what
there's a lot of room for improvement. I think.
what would you improve?
I think one is like the video review. You need to give a reason if you
Yep.
miss.
Yep.
Yeah, so you can just say, "Oh, it missed," or it was too close, or it was far away, whatever it is. But you need to provide the reasoning.
Yep.
And I think, like even this time, like the screens are right on top of the mat, right? So people like us or the coaches can't see it.
Oh, you couldn't see it.
We couldn't see the screen.
So you just
So
see
we're-
that. You just see that. No, I didn't get that point. Or,
Yeah, we just see the yes or no. So I think it's really important to be able to like athletes and coaches to be able to see it as well.
yeah, and also for if karate is going to continue to be on TV, or most of the K1s and stuff like that are streamed.
Yeah,
It's good for an audience to see why it wasn't scored as well.
yeah, that's it. You need to provide a reason. You can't just say yes or no,
Yeah,
because then it's easy.
and
Like,
and with that kick, that infamous kick at the end,
yeah,
it should be a reason why he was disqualified.
yeah.
But there's also inconsistencies in different federations, Europe, Australia, Europe, Oceania, on what is contact and what is too much contact.
Yeah,
as well.
and it's so I think the bottom line is too complicated right now.
Yeah.
I think it's too complicated, and same with like you look at judo or you look at taekwondo.
Yeah.
The rules have changed so much.
Yeah.
The influence like of the IOC have a lot of influence on the rules. They're like, you got to change this, blah blah blah, or else
The
we
IOC
won't put you
do.
in again. Yeah, well they'll say a lot. They have
Yeah.
a lot of say.
Okay.
They're like, well they will tell you got to change the rules and make it better.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we won't put you in next time.
Yeah.
Much.
Right. Why do you think? And we can edit this out if you don't want to. But why do you think karate didn't make the 2024 when karate is so massive in France?
Well, I think that's the thing. Like when karate was in Japan, because the Japanese Federation used a lot of politicians. Like I think the president of Japan is a politician, or ex-politician now.
Yep.
And the vice president is the actual like head karate person.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the actual president is like a politician in like the lower house.
President of the IOC.
No, president of the JKF.
Oh, JKF. Yeah.
Yep. And then you had like within the board, there was like a couple of politicians.
Yeah. Right.
Involved
Okay.
in the board, and they did a lot of lobbying work.
Yep.
Right, to get karate in.
Yep.
And I think when it got to Paris, I think the French Federation, because karate is so popular,
Yeah.
they didn't do enough lobbying, I think.
Yeah. Didn't
They
grease
just
enough
got a bit,
palms.
yeah, and then, maybe not enough money under the table. But I think they just got a little bit, they just relaxed.
Complacent.
Complacent. They thought it was going to be good, and bang, like, it just tells you should never get complacent.
Absolutely shocked, mate.
Yeah.
Really shocked, especially being in Paris.
Yeah, so it's so they're doing a lot of work now, but I don't, I hope it does,
Yeah.
really hope it does. I think it's really good for the sport, like the exposure it got,
Yeah. Well,
good and bad. Like you look at
that's
the
right.
last kick, or you look at all the scoring system, that's no good. But it's a good opportunity for karate. Like I think it's a good time where you see like the public's view and what they think, and what the public think is really important.
Yeah.
You want to stay relative as a sport.
Yeah.
And I think it's a good opportunity for karate to it's a wake up call, I think.
Yeah.
Say, look, we need to change this. We need to make it simpler. Are we going to add knockouts, or
Yeah.
are we going to do something,
Well, how much influence do you think the IOC had over the ruling, like contact rules?
I
Like
think for
level of
this one,
contact.
they had no, like, once it got to the competition, they didn't have any
Mm.
influence. And,
But
you
they have the
know,
influence on the did they have the influence on the interpretation of contact or
I think after now they would,
yeah,
once they see it and once they kind of like look at all like the backlash and all the stuff that's going on, they'll be like, okay, they'll take it into consideration. I think it's like what's gonna, the same thing. They'll probably say the same thing can't happen again.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So what are we gonna do?
It just happened to be the last match,
Yeah. And
right? If it happened in the first day, we're not sitting here talking about it. If it wasn't the
yeah,
final, we're
yeah.
not talking about it. But
And
the
it's the
fact that
same. Like if the kid wasn't winning 4-1,
yep,
we might not be talking about it. If he was losing 7-0 and kicked him flush, you'd be like, he was
yeah,
losing anyway.
yeah, that's right, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, his initial kick, I don't know if you watched it, but his initial kick is like this far away. Like, that's not a
Yeah.
score.
Yeah. So then
But
it's
anyway,
just, yeah. So it's a bit, yeah. Well, there's a lot to work on, like you say, like, but if you're gonna let that be a win for the Saudi, like, how are you gonna incorporate that into the rules? Like,
yeah,
then people are just gonna start swinging, and is that gonna be okay?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, throwing their head into it, and you
yeah.
know,
It's like,
yeah. But man, he was fast. Wow,
oh, he was very good. That boy
very
was.
very sharp, mate. And
Yeah.
it looked
So,
like he
but I
was.
think the sad part was it was gonna be the first ever gold medal for Saudi Arabia.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So they're like the Prince of Saudi Arabia. Like everyone was there. Like there was
Wow.
so many like Saudi Arabia people in the stands.
Yeah,
Just came and like, yeah, and it was just sad. Like
yeah,
to
yeah,
end it like that was, I think, was really sad. Like either way, I think the Iranian boy, like, he didn't know what was going on.
yeah, yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, I'm sure the Uranium didn't want to win like that either.
yeah, that's it. And
It's a hollow win.
yeah, and then it's the sad part is like I think now because of all this social media stuff as well,
Oh yeah.
the Turkish referees like apparently getting like death threats
Wow.
from all over the internet, and probably the Iranian guy too.
Yeah, yeah,
That's like the sad part with all this like social media, Twitter and stuff, where there's no responsibility.
yeah. That's right. Yeah,
Yeah,
the,
and
the
you can
keyboard
just like,
warriors.
yeah, so you can
Yeah,
just send stuff and like they don't understand the consequence of it. Like,
yeah, yeah,
yeah, they all talk about like the mental game and all that
yeah,
stuff. But at the end of the day, when it comes to this kind of stuff, they don't really, they don't look into that kind of factor. And
yeah,
it's a
yeah,
bit sad for me when I see that kind of stuff. Yeah.
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 The yeah, it's yeah. On one hand, it's good for karate competition, the exposure.
Yeah.
But I suppose that the critics were those who don't understand karate, and they may do a different martial art, and they look at
Hmm.
karate from their eyes.
Yeah.
But as we were talking about earlier, you're restricted with the rules and
Yeah.
the
Well, that's it.
interpretation
Like,
of the rules.
yeah. So they
Yeah,
might think we don't do real combat sport, but for us, it's just because that's the rules.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah,
So for me, I was like, I know the pressure is going to be huge. I might feel nervous, I might not at the competition, but that's what I was here for. So,
Speaking of which, when you walked out for your first fight,
mhm.
what? Because I can tell you, watching from 10 hours away in Brisbane, I was nervous, man. I had butterflies. Oh man, I'm like yeah, but just still really,
Yeah,
mate. It was like I'm about to fight there.
yeah.
What was it like for you?
Oh no, I felt good actually. Like I just like felt no nervous, nothing.
Just
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 yeah, I
prepared.
felt yeah. I just was there to enjoy, and
Yeah,
I was there to try and do my job, and that was it. Yeah.
no regrets.
No, actually, it was really good. Like actually, when you just kind of walk up, you're like, this is it. Yeah.
Like that noise, like bang, I'm
Mm.
ready. I'm ready to go. And what about tactic? What was? Did you have different tactics for the different fighters, or if you had four fight? You knew you were going
Yeah,
to fight four. Did you have
yeah.
different tactics for each, or the same, or?
So generally, like of course, I studied all the opponents and try to like work out not not mainly their strengths, but what they get scored.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
when I study like opponents, of course I look at what they do, but mainly I look more towards like what they're getting scored.
Mm.
Yeah, so I try and look on their weakness more and try and
Yeah.
pick on that. And then you have like the game changes so much. Like
Yeah.
initially my plan was
First
like to
point.
move around a lot, and like
Yeah.
the first move with the Kazakhstan score that Chudan, moving
Yeah.
around,
Yeah.
and then just keep kind of doing that. But once the point goes the other side,
Yeah.
you can't do that anymore because you can start moving around when you're losing.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Like, but you're just giving the fight away to the other guy,
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah.
much.
Well,
Tactic kind of changes as it goes.
yeah. I think that's a really a great thing about competition karate, or any sort of competition. You've got to quickly, even if you've never seen that fighter before, in that first 30 seconds, you've got to come up with a strategy to beat them.
Yeah. And that's the difference between like with boxing or taekwondo. You've got 3 rounds.
Yeah.
To kind of adjust, and you got 1 round if you want to adjust to it, can do.
That's
Judo
right.
is just 5 minutes. Yeah.
Judo is funny because
it's quite long. Yeah.
Judo, 1 point can end the match.
Yeah, well, that's it. Judo is more, judo is much high risk than karate.
Yeah.
Like, you do one thing and you can be gone. So yeah.
Well, that's why always the finals are the worst ones to watch, from an outside view, because everybody's so tight on attacks.
Yeah.
But with the pool system, I thought everybody was trying to score a lot of points, and it was as a spectacle. It looked better.
Initially, the referees are really worried about there was going to be a lot of draws.
Yeah, I don't think there was maybe one or two.
I think Haruna and Gabor drew, I think.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I think one of the girls drew.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the 55, under 55, but that was it, I think. Yeah.
What I really loved, and what Australia really should do, because I haven't really seen a lot of it, is, the new Sukute rule. Getting in the fight. They were really lenient. Like, they just wanted them to fight. They didn't want the stop and start. I think in Australia we do a lot of stop and start.
Mm-hmm.
So I like the flow of it.
Thing. I think they don't understand that it's not that easy to fight like that. Especially if you look at Olympics, you're like, you're not gonna, when you have like the top of the top fighting, you're not gonna be able to just 20 seconds figure it out and score.
Yeah.
So
a lot of them are just sort of throwing, dummy kicks or dummy punches.
Yeah, well, that's it. And as you're doing that, we try and see what's going on.
Yeah.
A lot of the work is like made just with not what's done.
Yeah. So for a spectacle, it's good, but tactically, it's no good.
Yeah.
Some of the best fights, not watching. Well, if you know what you're watching, it's great. 1-0, like just tactically, like Busa in the final, for example. As soon as he got that point, it's very, very hard. Every time Agiev moved, he's moved in, and hand up and claiming this, and he's grabbing, and so tactically fantastic, man. What a tactician! But from a spectator point of view, boring.
Yeah.
That makes it a bit difficult.
Yeah, and that's why, that's the challenge for the rules, I think.
Yeah.
If you want to, you got to find like a good balance, and I think it's got to lean more towards the spectacle side.
Yeah, I would think so.
If you wanna keep it as like a relevant sport.
Well, if I could change a couple of rules, the first rule I would change is not giving 3 points for a head kick. Technically it is harder to score with it, but all you have to do is just put your foot up and it generally gets scored, right? But what I want to see is not back to the old rules, but one clean punch can end that person from ever attacking you again. If we're looking at, you take your mouth guard out, take the gloves off, one clean punch is a finishing. And the same is, Kumite evolved from Kendo. and or judo in that one point. And that's why it's a clash. They stop and they start again, just like in kendo. Whereas in boxing, it's just like continue, bang, 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 bang. So the kumite is based off of those, like one clean strike, or that old one punch, one kill, or one punch, one finish, and that's where the kumite sort of evolved from. But I think we got away from that when they started scoring 3 points to a kick, and all of a sudden, especially the women, because they're more flexible or a lighter weight, it's the leg up, pa 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 pa. It was almost bordering on the taekwondo sort of style. But anyway, that's me. I want to see more punches that would knock the person out if it wasn't controlled.
Yeah, so I think the contact factor has to change to I don't know, like I don't know the solution. So, but it's like you look at you look at boxing or you look at taekwondo. In the amateur boxing, not many of them are going for the knockout.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If it's there, if you hit them flush and they go down, then you will go down. But they're not. It's not like the pro boxing where they're just going for like the knockout.
Yeah.
And same with taekwondo, like, because I think the bottom line is for taekwondo, even if you knock them down, if they get up within like the 10 count, it's the same points.
Yeah.
You don't get extra points for actually knocking, from what I remember. I'm not too sure of the rules, but I think if you knock them out and if they go down for the 10, then you win. But then other than that, like a kick like that is same as a kick like boom.
Yeah.
So for them, there's not much benefit of knocking them out, but that rule is still there. So I think it should lean towards something like that, where if it happens, it happens. But
well, I don't know if you remember, but the rules used to be so half point or full point. So it didn't matter about the technique. You have a wazari or you have a nippon. It doesn't matter about what the technique is. Is it like it's a front fist or a roundhouse kick, whatever. It's the intent, the timing, the distance. All of that will determine.
That becomes too subjective, right? Yeah.
So what's the answer, mate? We're here to answer. We're here to get to the bottom. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know what the answer is either. But
no, I don't think anyone knows the answer yet.
Not yet.
But I think they need to work on that. But I think it's a good opportunity.
Yeah.
No, I think it could be a good turning point for karate.
Well, the other thing I saw was in the and this is totally off topic, but the brand. So you're sponsored by Shuedo.
Yep.
Were you sponsored by Shuedo, or do you just buy Shuedo?
I am sponsored by Shuedo.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. And I saw that they have so I have Shuedo stuff too. Yeah. I have to buy mine. Jeez. Well, maybe not after this podcast, Shuedo, And all right, buddy. Well, we might wrap it up here. And if anybody has any questions, just shoot me through a message. You can shout out to Tsuenari as well. You've got your Tsuenari athlete page.
Or just message me on Instagram or anything.
That's where he's getting his sweet money. Just kidding. There's no money coming through. So, and if anybody wants to send me money too, I'm happy to take it. Hey, when you get back to Sydney, your Karate Over Coffee shirt should be waiting for you.
Oh, awesome! I'll send a photo.
So you can use your Victoria coffee in our
drink the
our
cup.
mugs.
Awesome.
So, Victoria.
We can have a number 3. We can have a Q&A session.
Exactly, bro. Exactly. All right, mate. I'll talk to you soon.
Awesome. Thanks, mate. Thank you.
Cheers.